Introducing the Mecha Workshop guide to fully maintaining and cleaning your airbrush by our resident airbrush expert.
Hi there, I'm Jason from Mecha Workshop. I'm doing this video tutorial on how to clean airbrush out once you're done spraying with it. Here's my old Beauty 4, full of primer as you can see. Just pour the paint back into the bottle there. Cheapest way I find is toilet paper. 2 sheets is enough. You don't need more than that. 3 sheets is you probably won't be able to stuff it into the cup. As you can see now, it's very dirty. So close that away, and if you can see, it's still full of primer way at the bottom there. We need to spray all of that out into our cleaning station. Okay, once all the paint is out of there and you test and there's nothing coming out, what we're going to be cleaning it out with is, I usually use general purpose or acrylic cleaner. Now, instead of using the expensive stuff like that or that, grab yourself a can, a 4-liter drum of that.
And that's lacquer thinner, just relabeled.
Yep. As Alan said, a drum is about $30 to $40. You probably can find it cheaper elsewhere. It doesn't matter as long as it gets rid of the paint. Now, I usually decant mine into an old bottle. You do not want to take it straight out of a large can. That is just asking for trouble. Now, a couple of squirts from the dropper into it. About that full is enough. Now, an old brush, just give it a good stir. That loosens all the paint in the cup. Gets everything into a solvent state again. Okay, now take your piece of tissue, cover up the front, and press down and pull back on the trigger, blow back. You can see the blowback action happening now. All the bubbles are coming up. Just be careful because it tends to squirt everywhere. Flick the trigger a few times, that gets rid of the paint at the rear there. Okay, now again, I have an old container there and a funnel just to make things easier for me to pour it in. So just tip it straight in. Never pour thinner straight into your drain. Again, if you get caught,
I've got a corner in the gutter where I tip my shit.
Well, you can always piss it down the drain, but if you get caught, don't look at me. You have been warned. Again, keep repeating the step until at least the thinner is clear. As you can see now, it's a bit cleaner. It's not as dirty as the last lot. Okay. Again, pour it out. Cloth. Just give it a quick wipe in there. Should be very clean now, as you can see. And spray out into the airbrush station. That gets rid of any of your thinner from that part on. Usually 2, 3 or 4 rinses should be enough to get your airbrush clean. But if it's not clean, it's still, as you can see now, this is the third time. Now it's getting to a cleaner state. Again, go back, flick it a bit. Go. If you don't want it to spatter everywhere, just put a thumb over it. That reduces it a lot. Okay, now as you can see now, it's even cleaner, and you got a bit of paint splotches everywhere. Grab your tissue, just a little bit of 4 or 5 drops of thinner onto there, and just give it a quick wipe around. And just to test it. Okay, now that is super clean. If you want to go one step further, take out the needle very carefully as usual. Just slowly slide it out. Now as you can see the needle, you got a bit of paint there. Again, what I do is just put it onto the piece of tissue, a few drops of thinner onto it, just very gently, just rub it around, twist it a bit. When it comes to the tip there, be very careful. You do not want a lot of force. Just gently, just roll it on. That's the best way I find, and never ever put any force on the tip of the needle. A bent needle means that your spray pattern on your airbrush will be out of alignment. You won't spray at the center position. You'll spray either off to one side, or at the worst case is you get a spatter. Something we do not want. Okay, just run it through nice and clean. Now, best way to put the needle back in, I've seen people hold it at the end. That again is a big no-no. You're just asking for your tip again to be bent out of shape. What you do is you hold it near the front, like so. Thumb on top, middle finger supporting it at the bottom. Just very gently, as you can see. Slide it back in. And when you do push it in, be very gentle. It doesn't need a lot of force. Once it hits the stop, don't push anymore. Just light tap. A light tap should seat the needle against the nozzle. If you force the needle in, chances are you just crack your nozzle, and again it's more cost which you can do without. Okay. Usually once I sit the needle in, there will be a bit of paint left from the seal at the back here. I'll just put in a bit of thinner, just a few drops. And then the needle, just pull it back just maybe half a centimeter. Just like that, just a little bit. You don't have to pull it all the way out, just enough to get the paint out of the seal at the back there. Okay, once that is done, just to the airbrush station, spray it all out, and for me usually, just a little bit more thinner in there, just back wash. And tip it all out. Out again. And there we have it. Nice clean airbrush. Okay, now once you finish a session, you should strip down your airbrush down. Like once you finish the model kit, always strip down your airbrush. That is the point in time where you should say, okay, it's time to do a full deep clean airbrush.
Now, it's not 100% necessary to do a demonstration today, but a few people would be very familiar with how the airbrush breaks down because that's what you do before you learn how to use it. What I would like to ask you is some uncommon areas people would not necessarily think to clean or tweak from necessarily doing a full breakdown, like the washer at the back of the trigger.
Okay, usually people wouldn't clean the interior section here of the airbrush because you would assume that back flushing the airbrush would clean at least that section, and your needle should keep that section there clean. Not always. There will always be a bit of paint left over in the needle seal section there, and there will always be crud in this section here.
So one of those small pipe brush cleaners normally ideal to clean them out?
Now, get yourself a set of pipe. These are interdental toothbrushes. You can buy a set of them at any Kohl's, Woolworth or pharmacy. But if you want to put out a bit more money, get a proper set of metal airbrush cleaner brush that they come in different diameters. I do recommend that because as you can see here, my plastic ones are just about melting there, and it's about headed. So my next set would definitely be all metal.
Now, what happens if paint starts to run down the back of your needle to the back half of your airbrush? How does one fix that?
That means that your seal there is either in need of replacement, or there's a screw that tightens the needle against the wall and about over there, I would say. Now, what you have to do is you have to undo your back cap. Take out your needle nice and gently. Set it aside. Totally strip out the whole back section. Oops. Now I don't know whether you can see it, but if you look at the very center, there's like a screw. Okay, now to get to that screw, what I do I just have this small electrician screwdriver, something with a thin blade. And very gently just drop it down and search for the screw.
This is a flathead screwdriver? Or
yep, this is a flathead screwdriver, as you can see. Usually these screws are flatheads. I haven't seen a Phillips head one yet, but do not assume that it's not out there. It could be out there, and I have seen cases where you do need a special tool to remove the proprietary nut from in there. But usually it's just a flathead screwdriver. So unscrew it and just now that screw should just drop out. Now there is a seal in there. Usually it's a Teflon seal which is white in color. If Alan can get a close up, no chance in hell of seeing it. There will be a white seal, but just about there, I would say. Okay, seal over there. Now, if the seal does drop out, usually this only happens in the brand new airbrush, okay? In the used airbrush, usually it doesn't want to drop out, which is good, okay? Because putting it back in is a technique which has to be shown to do it properly. If you do not know how to put the seal back in, stop immediately and ask around on the internet, because if you do not know how to put the seal in properly, it just, all the paint in there will just flow into that section there, and your trigger and your air valve that will just get gummed up.
Would you like to elaborate putting in the seals properly if one was to try themselves?
Yep, that can be done. Just
again, orally explaining it.
Unscrew your air cap there. Now I just need my screwdriver. Take off your nozzle. Again, nice and gently. Now, say for instance your seal has dropped out. What you do is put the seal onto your needle there, and then your nut goes onto your needle. If you have an old needle, that's even better, because what you have to do is the whole needle has to go through there. Then you put your seal there, followed by your retaining nut, and that just drops. Everything should, if you do it properly, everything should drop square in, and all you have to do is pull your needle away, take your screwdriver and just tighten everything back up. Okay, now the other thing is to never over tighten that nut. Just tighten until like it's just finger tight. Oil, just drop that in. Until you just feel a bit of resistance happening. Okay, once you feel that resistance, stop and maybe just do just a little bit, no more than 1/8 of a turn, just a little bit. Then test, put your needle in, test how stiff it is. If you over tighten your nut there, your needle would not be able to fit through that hole, and you'll be wondering what is going on. Also, there's a very good chance that your needle would be bent in trying to force it through that. So all you want is just a bit of tightness. Not too much, just a little bit. Okay. Now, if the seal still leaks, you need to get a replacement seal. So you have to take that retaining nut out, take the old seal out. If the seal doesn't want to come out, what I find is the needle, if you put it through the end there until you feel where the seal is, you have a good chance of just shoving it out. If not, as you can see, the hole is a lot larger than the needle. An old skewer, a toothpick, that also works. Anything that you can just put down there to get the seal out. I recommend anything wooden or bamboo. Metal, I won't recommend it, because there's a chance that you will just scratch up all your threads in that section there where the retaining nut is supposed to go. So give a bamboo skewer a try. Failing that, you can always ask a friend who has an ultrasonic cleaner. If you ultrasonic it long enough, the seal may just work its way loose. The more powerful an ultrasonic cleaner, the better. Now we got two ultrasonic cleaners here. This is the cheaper one, as I'll call it. That you can probably get on the eBay for about $35. This is what we call a commercial grade one. As you can see, it has a heating element and ultrasonic long timing unit. This one I can set it up to about an hour. That one only goes for 3 minutes. So you can't really adjust your cleaning time on that one. Yeah. As you can see from the steam, a hot liquid is usually better for cleaning. Also, it comes with a cleaning basket. Yep. Now, do not worry about glass jars being in an ultrasonic cleaner. It won't do anything to it. Trust me, I have tried it many times.
The good idea here is
to fill
the glass jar with thinner and put it in there so the thinner actually isn't in the ultrasonic cleaner. You don't necessarily need the lid on it.
Okay, and that concludes our airbrush cleaning tutorial and spot maintenance as it is. These are areas which should be looked after. Usually, the worst areas, if you don't believe me, take your airbrush, take your dental cleaner, put a bit of thinner on it and stick it down there and pull it out again and see how much crud comes out of it. I don't think you believe at how dirty it is, but it is the truth. So that's all from us. We'll see you next time.